Ali, your thoughts. Have we seen the worst? Is the worst over for emerging markets? I mean, we talk about inflation. Turkey is suddenly one country that's looking at tremendously high inflation. 80% easing to 60%, it's still 60%.
Well, when we look at the last 20 years, there has been two periods of boost about the size of the balance sheets of the currency issuing central banks. The first boost was in 2008-2009 crisis, and the second boost of the balance sheets were in the pandemics during the COVID crisis, so to say. And so much liquidity at such a low price was not a sustainable thing. And finally it hit the inflation, and central banks did the inevitable. I think it was important for the central banks to preemptively provide liquidity, because the pandemic could have made a huge impact in the global economy. So it was mostly prevented. But now it's time to just keeping acts together and normalize the things. Of course, this does have spillover effects to the emerging markets, developing countries. There could be future spillback effects to the developed world also. Of course, the emerging markets, developed countries, have to be very, very careful about what they are doing. For us, the monetary policy have been too loose for such a long time, and negative interest rates was too big. So that did have an additional impact on our domestic inflation. But then these are all reversible things. I mean, like former crisis, previous crisis, if the governments and the central banks take wise actions, inflation is not a dragon which you cannot fight with or something like that. You can deal with this. But most important element missing, which we have been observing over the last 1 year period, is lack of adequate coordination and cooperation across the countries. And G20 here is very much underutilized. Because G20 is a setup where 2/3 of the world population is represented, 75% of world trade is represented, and 85% of the global GDP is represented. And all the continents are represented. African Union is there, European Union is there. So in these very special circumstances, it is very, very important for G20 to come together more often. And now the digital availability is everywhere. And we all got used to using Zoom or WebEx, whatever platform it is. So G20 should meet more often to coordinate policies across the countries, so that the reserve currency issuing central banks don't think that it is their only country or it is just the Eurozone, but it is the whole global village that we are living in. So more policy coordination is a must. And for the problems about Turkey, these are all easy to solve. It just takes just good human resources, rational decisions to do it. And I believe that these could be fixed very soon. And Turkish economy also showed that there is the underlying resilience going on. Although we had lots of geopolitical issues, we are highly dependent on oil and gas imports. We happen to be in the middle of every single moving things across our neighborhood. But still on top of all these, the underlying resiliency is there. With better decisions, better actions, better being connected to the rest of the world, these are issues that can be overcome easily.
Deva Partisi